Nostalgia. It's the file that smooths away the rough edges of your memories. It's the Vaseline on the lens to the past. It makes it where you don't remember things so good, all right? Boy, today we have got something that is such a nostalgic favorite of mine, something I love so much. It was one of my first pedals. Today we're gonna talk about the Danelectro Dan-Echo. Let's buckle up. What can I say about the Dan-Echo? It was my first delay pedal. It was a pedal that was with me all through my time in Memphis, most of my time in Texas up until I got a DM2 that we talked about in another video, and then I quote unquote upgraded. The Dan-Echo is a classic echo pedal, and guess what? Spoiler alert, it's still a very good echo pedal. So yeah, I mean, I took one of these for years. I basically played a Gretsch through a tube screamer, and then I sat this thing on top of my amp, my Fender amp, and just used it for a slapback delay. I didn't bother using it for anything else because I was a Rockabilly guy, so slapback is all I cared about. These pedals are super cool. They came out kind of in the late 90s, and there just wasn't a lot of stuff other than maybe this and I think some Boss pedals. I don't know. I was just getting into it, so I didn't know all the things, but I thought it looked cool because it's got the very retro 50s look to it, and it's got a lot of flexibility. Honestly, the coolest thing about these is the high cut, so it'll take the top end kind of off of your repeat. So first things first, it's a digital delay. For any Rockabilly purist, it's okay. Digital, I'm a huge fan of digital. Maybe this is why I like digital as much as I do analog, but I digress. It had a high cut, so you could kind of roll the highs off of your repeats to give you a really nice warm sound. These also, they're built like a tank. I mean, I could, if someone broke into the house, I could just use this to defend myself. They were rock solid. I went through 2 of these, not because of the pedal, but because I was a crappy Rockabilly punk rock kid who didn't take care of his stuff, and so I busted one of the input jacks. But I went through 2 of them. It had all of your normal settings, your mixes, speed, repeats, a high-low switch, so you could change the repeats. We'll get into it and do a demo in a second. And the high cut. Like I said, the high cut was really the star of the show. So I'm gonna quit rambling and let's get in here and listen to it. What do you think? Hey, cutting in here for a quick reminder, if you like what you see here, please like and subscribe. I got all sorts of videos. We're really in a delay groove right now, so this is the 3rd or 4th delay video I've done, but we also do lessons and other cool stuff. I've got a few things in the pike coming, so please hit the buttons, do the comments, feed the YouTube gods, and I'll catch you later. All right, back to the video. All right, so let's get into this. So I thought it would be appropriate to pull out my Silvertone / Danelectro 1304 U1, whatever it is. Anyway, it's from about 1960. It was in the Sears Christmas catalog, so what better than to use a Danelectro guitar with a Danelectro pedal. So we're going to use it. Now it does have a lipstick, so it can get a little buzzy and noisy, so we'll check into that. But so first things first, let's talk about that. One of the digs that I hear about the Dan-Echo is they can be a little bit noisy. And I don't doubt that maybe they can, but I've been lucky, and most of mine have never been that way. So if you listen right now, I've got my microphone on my little Princeton Tweed clone that I've got here, and I don't really hear much of anything. And when I turn on the pedal, same thing, it's pretty quiet. So the noise you hear, let me turn this off, is going to be, oops, this thing's falling down, is going to be from my Danelectro guitar. So hear that buzz? I'm in my office with lots of lights and stuff, and we're using an old 1960s lipstick pickup, so that's just the way it's going to be. All right, so let's get rolling with this thing. So we're going to start off with just my sound that I used for years, which has kind of the mix at 50%, speeds kind of over here at, what would that be, 10, 11 o'clock, switch on low. Repeats are over here also around 10 o'clock-ish, and then I have the high cut kind of at noon. And so that just gives you the good old Rockabilly sound. So let's play around with this high cut knob for a second, because I feel like that's the thing that's different. I mean, every delay pedal you've ever had has a mix or a level, a speed, and a number of repeats, right? Now, like I said, this middle switch gives you from short repeat times, so from, and then if you flip it over, you get a longer delay time, right? So pretty straightforward there. So right now, everything on noon. Let's slow her down a little bit so we can hear them more. And then let's play with the high cut. So let's turn it all the way off. Oh, see there how it's kind of rolling all the high off? Now let's turn it up to 50% or noon. Way more treble coming through. And then if we go all the way, then you're just in classic digital delay. I'm giving you exactly what you give me. Let's try that same line with it all pegged out the other way. Take out all the high end on those repeats. So yeah, it really kind of lays those repeats back in the mix a whole lot more. Whoop, let me turn that down, that's so buzzy. So I really feel like this high cut is that's what makes this thing so great. Let's see here, we're kind of in territory I've never really messed with much, so let's just go with a lot of repeats. We're still in the long. See what else we can get out of this thing right quick. Great delay sound. So there's lots of people that are way more creative with this than I am. Okay, let's see here. If we bring it back over on the low side with a really quick repeat, we can almost probably get like a reverb sound. Yeah, something like that. I wonder if I can make it oscillate. Nope, not quite. Okay, so you can also kind of fake some reverb if you really want to in there. But again, my favorite thing, let's see if we take the high cut back, I kind of had that rolled back, so if we go this way, yeah, that's real surfy. So yeah, there you go. You can get your slapback delay. You can get some more classic delay sounds. I mean, what's more classic than slapback? But some of your other more standard, more modern. And then you can even fake a good reverb. So like I said, you find these used all the time for 50 bucks or less. Why go get some sort of cheap knockoff when you can get, I say knockoff, some sort of cheap built pedal from Amazon, when if you can find one of these, they're totally worth it. All right, so yeah. It's still a great pedal, man. All right, so there you go. I think this pedal still holds up. I bought this one used for $30. $30. US dollars. If you can find one of these and you're looking for a good delay pedal, get it. You won't regret it. Nostalgia just isn't the thing in this one. It isn't just my memories that are getting me here. It's still a great pedal. All the Danelectro stuff is really good. So I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10 for me. One of my favorite pedals of all time. It got me into pedals and can't recommend it enough. All right, thanks again everybody for liking and subscribing and doing all the YouTube things. Make sure you comment below with your first pedal. What was your favorite pedal of all time? Was it an old SD1? Maybe a DS1 is probably a Boss. I would bet most of my money on you probably started with a Boss pedal or a Tube Screamer. I bought the Danelectro pedal before I bought the Tube Screamer, so a TS9 would be my second pedal. But yeah, tell me your first 2 or 3 pedals and what you loved and what you look on back now and nostalgia made it better than it was, and what are some things that hold up over time. I love talking about this kind of gear. So thanks again everybody. Hope you're all doing well out there, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.